Hey everybody, it's Ash. I figured since I'm just starting to randomly post about my day that I would do a little introduction and share a little bit about myself and what got me to this point. So, trigger warning for some alcohol, drug mention, things like that. So, just if you have issues, go ahead and skip forward and yeah, you can skip this part. But so basically, I come from a broken home. I'm not going to get super into detail because the internet doesn't need to know like all of my life, but um I grew up in a very fat phobic family. My grandmother used to say that she hated having a fat granddaughter. And my biological mom was bigger as well. And so my grandma, disdained her for that. So weight has always been a big part of my life. I've always been a bigger person. So when I got to high school, in an effort to avoid some of the stuff that was going on at home, because I had like an alcoholic mother and an abusive mom. So to avoid that, I did a lot of speech and sports. I was in marching band, softball, I did winter percussion, I did swimming. So I was pretty active. And even through all of that, I was still considered a big girl by high school standards. I think it was a size 16, 18 by the time I graduated, which really is not all that big, like at all. I could still do everything that I wanted to. I could go on roller coasters. I could go to the trampoline park. I could do, I didn't have to buy a second ticket for airplanes. So high school, I could still do everything that I wanted. And I prided myself on being the healthy fat kid because I didn't have any blood pressure issues. I didn't have any, you know, anything technically wrong with me. But weight has been something that I've been obsessing about ever since I was little, just because that's something that my parents and my grandparents obsessed about with me. So it kind of taught me that my body was not okay the way that it was, which is, damaging to, to a young kid. So fast forward, I'm out of high school. I go to college and I'm not in any college sports. So I deal with mental anguish or issues, emotional issues with food. So I would go, I would buy, chicken strips, french fries, onion rings, what have you from the school, from college lunch, and eat that like all day, every day. So I ended up within the first 6 months of being out of high school, I ended up having to have my gallbladder removed because it just got so inflamed by how much I was eating and how sick I was making myself. And after that, instead of seeking help, I dove further into food. And I'm not saying that food is bad for you. Food's neither good nor bad, but food was my comfort. Instead of turning to like alcohol or drugs or something, I turned to food. So, with that being said, after the first year of me not having a gallbladder, I had put on about 100 pounds. And so that was where the majority of my weight gain came from. And, I just hated myself, hated who I was, and again, sought comfort in the one thing that I was trying to avoid. I've done yo-yo diets, I've considered surgeries, I've done, everything that you can think of to try to lose the weight. Um, so this is something a little bit different that I'm doing. And don't laugh, but I'm going to it's called Overeaters Anonymous, where it treats, compulsive eating like an addiction. And it took me a long time to realize that that's kind of the where I was with that. Um because as soon as, something would nick me emotionally, I would just immediately go to food. That there wouldn't even be a thought. It'd be like, oh, I've had a bad day, so I'm gonna, go to Starbucks, or I'm gonna go get Chinese, things like that. And so OA has definitely helped my mentality a little bit. But even then, I still didn't jive with the whole, 12-step program thing. Not a huge fan of 12-step programs, but being in a room with people who understand where you're coming from is incredibly helpful. Um, so that's where I'm at now, is I do that on Wednesdays, and starting these little vlogs, I think, are going to help me. They're going to help keep me kind of accountable for the things I do, and I'm hoping that as I do them, it's like an obligation to you guys to stick with, my weight loss, stick with eating healthy, stick with, OA, and it'll help me, give me a reason to continue to do this. Cause my issue is I'll do really, really good for a couple weeks, and then I lose 5-10 pounds, and then I'm like, oh hey, I've lost X amount, so I can go eat what I want now. And that's not how this is gonna work. Um I am really physically sick. My blood pressure is still really high. My heart rate has gone down a little bit, but just generally I feel lethargic, and I sleep most of my day just because it takes so much energy to function. Um like today I tried on a pair of jeans and I couldn't get it to button. And I'm a size 20, well, I was a size 26. I'm probably a size 28 now, in a 4 and 5X, which is, heartbreaking for me, because I like to be active. I like to do things. But yeah, so I'm hoping that I can just stay motivated, and the more I do this, the closer I get with everybody, and the more weight I lose. And I'm not wanting to lose weight because I hate the way I look, or I hate that I'm fat. I want to lose weight because it's affecting my health at this point. Um I am very fat positive. I don't have an issue with the way that I look. I have an issue with the way that I feel. And I know several people who are large, um, and they're beautiful, and they're gorgeous, and they're healthy. And I 100% support that and love people for that. Um, and if I can, lose weight and still be big and just be healthy, that's what I'll do. I don't want to be stick skinny. Um, I just want to be healthy. I want to be able to do things that I enjoy, and, not have to worry, well, am I going to fit? Because that's where, the shame and the doubt comes in. Because I haven't been on a roller coaster or a amusement park ride in almost a decade. And that was one of the things that was my favorite to do. I don't fly anymore because I have to buy 2 tickets. I can't fit into a pair of jeans. Those are all things that make me feel bad as a person. And it's not because I don't like that I'm fat. It's I don't like that I can't do things. But anyway, I know that was long. It was a bit of a ramble. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you know a little bit more about where I'm coming from, and what I've had to face. Leave your comments below on if you've ever had to deal with anything like that, or where you're at in your weight loss journey. And I just want to build a community where we can all love and support each other, and, help each other reach our goals. All right, thanks, guys. Talk to you later.